Pelican Bay Food Scandal: How Inmates Survive on Meals Not Meant for Humans. Subscribe for more real crime stories. Like, share, and join the discussion below. The camera pans over the stark, high walls of Pelican Bay State Prison, our focus honing in on the cafeteria during lunchtime. Suddenly, chaos erupts. An inmate collapses, convulsing on the floor after consuming a meal that is, according to many, barely fit for human consumption. Guards rush in with urgency, their shouts echoing throughout the overcrowded space. The scene is chaotic, filled with panic and the muffled cries of inmates. As paramedics arrive and the food trays scatter across the floor, viewers are left with a gut-wrenching question. How could it come to this? What horrors lurk within the kitchen that fuels such a crisis? This intense moment drives home the reality of the food scandal unfolding within Pelican Bay's walls, a scandal that will be uncovered piece by piece as we delve deeper into the minds and lives of those living in this notorious prison. To understand the food crisis plaguing Pelican Bay, we must first explore the grim realities of life inside its walls. Housing some of California's most dangerous criminals, the prison operates with a zero-tolerance policy, and every aspect of inmate life is closely monitored. The facility is infamous for its use of solitary confinement, often referred to as the SHU, Security Housing Unit, where inmates face extended isolation. Daily routines consist of meals served in assembly line fashion, often devoid of flavor, nutrition, or basic quality. The camera zooms in on brown, unappetizing portions of what is served as food, a stark contrast to the bounty of meals one might expect. Inmate testimonials reveal the early warning signs: spoiled vegetables, cold meals, and portions so small that inmates find themselves losing significant weight. As the tension builds, whispers of hunger strikes begin to circulate. Inmates talk of their desperation for better nutritional standards, revealing a brewing discontent that hints at radical actions to come. By 2011, frustrations reached a tipping point. Inmates at Pelican Bay began organizing hunger strikes as a form of protest against the food crisis. This chapter chronicles the lead-up to a historically significant moment in the prison, when inmates collectively refused to eat. Powerful interviews with inmates paint a picture of a community bound by shared suffering. "We weren't just protesting the food, we were protesting our dignity," one inmate states, his voice dripping with emotion. Other inmates share stories of how the subpar meals affected their health, leading to drastic weight loss and malnutrition. As the hunger strikes escalate, the prison administration attempts to downplay the situation, falsely claiming that complaints are exaggerated. Yet media coverage begins to surface, shedding light on the shocking realities inside Pelican Bay. The tension climaxes as an inmate who has lost an alarming amount of weight appears on camera, raising serious questions about the state of health within the prison. The focus shifts from the inmates to the kitchen staff and administration as this chapter unveils the behind-the-scenes operation of Pelican Bay's food service. Cinematic shots capture the drudgery of kitchen work, the cold, sterile environment filled with bags of unappealing, frozen meals, and expired canned goods. Interviews with former kitchen workers reveal deeper issues of negligence. "We were told to cut costs, but this was inhumane," one former cook says, shaking his head. Meanwhile, the administration deflects criticism and maintains that the meals meet safety standards, leading to an unsettling disconnect between what is said and what is happening. The narrative builds towards a shocking revelation, a hidden internal report detailing inspections that flagged multiple health violations over several years, ignored by those in power. The stakes rise as viewers question how this system of negligence has persisted in the face of clear evidence. As tensions mount, the story takes a darker turn. Inmates report more instances of food contamination, with some claiming they were served meals containing bugs or rotten produce. The chapter weaves personal stories with undeniable evidence, creating a tapestry of indignation. Heartbreaking accounts of inmates become central, revealing how food scarcity and poor quality contribute to an overall bleak existence. Some have resorted to bartering for survival, trading what little they have for better quality meals. The climax of this chapter is particularly striking. An inmate collapses during the middle of a hunger strike, spurring immediate backlash from both inmates and advocates outside the prison. His condition serves as an emotional focal point, illustrating the dire consequences of the ongoing food crisis. Media attention burgeons as the scandal escalates. Activists and advocates begin to converge on Pelican Bay, clamoring for accountability and justice. This chapter immerses viewers in the growing movement seeking reform, showcasing rallies and protests outside the prison gates. Interviews with human rights activists reveal the public outrage surrounding the situation. This is much bigger than just food. It's about humanity. One activist states passionately, "The media highlights the stories of the most affected inmates, turning the problem into a national conversation about the ethics of prison food and inhumane treatment." The stakes reach new heights as activists launch petitions and social media campaigns, all serving to amplify the issue. However, just as momentum seems to build, prison officials double down on their dismissive stance, insisting that changes are unnecessary. In response to the mounting pressure, a federal investigation is launched into the conditions at Pelican Bay. This chapter explores the legal complexities that come with such scrutiny. Interviews with legal experts and former inmates provide insights into how the system often works against those trapped within it. As investigators comb through records, shocking discrepancies emerge, confirming the extent of the negligence concerning food safety and nutrition standards. Dropping statistics on inmate health serve as a wake-up call, illustrating the dire consequences. The narrative crescendos when an investigator presents photos of rotting meals served to the inmates, a visual representation of what has been tolerated. Tensions raise as the prison administration scrambles to defend its practices once the investigation's preliminary findings hit the news cycle. Despite the ongoing investigation, life inside Pelican Bay continues, and as inmates await outcomes, the atmosphere grows increasingly tense. This chapter sheds light on how daily life intertwines with fears of retaliation. Inmates express anxiety over potential consequences for speaking up. Interviews highlight brave inmates willing to share their experiences, revealing that many fear punishment for simply voicing their grievances. The narrative builds to a climax when a subgroup of inmates decide to break the silence during an organized meeting, discussing strategies to survive the ongoing neglect. Just as hopes rise for reform, a sudden lockdown is announced, throwing the prison into chaos. Guards pour into the yard, creating chaos and panic. How far are the inmates willing to go to fight for change? Their determination pushes them to confront fear head-on, illustrating the power of solidarity amidst adversity. The lockdown paves the way for a pivotal moment as tensions between administration and inmates reach a boiling point. This chapter chronicles the fallout from the lockdown, focusing on how it reveals deeper divisions and escalates unrest among the inmate population. Caught in a cycle of mistrust, inmates become increasingly frustrated, many still facing the same meager food options while under heightened surveillance. Interviews reveal the emotional turmoil that comes with confinement as their struggle intensifies. Those who are brave enough to speak out face undue scrutiny, further isolating them from their peers. The chapter reaches its climax with a confrontation between a group of inmates and guards, culminating in a tense standoff that risks spiraling into violence. Will this moment finally break the cycle of neglect, or will it lead to further repercussions for the victims of the scandal? As the dust settles, the conclusion highlights the outcomes of the federal investigation and the subsequent changes, both promised and implemented. Would prison officials take responsibility, or would they continue to shift blame? This chapter focuses on the long-term impact of the food scandal, highlighting how it has affected not only the inmates but also the prison system as a whole. Interviews with advocates celebrate minor victories, detailing the new policies that have emerged as a result of public outcry. The change is slow and difficult, yet glimmers of hope emerge as programs focus on improving nutrition and mental health for inmates. As the documentary wraps up, a final question hangs in the air. Are reforms truly sustainable, or will the brutal realities of prison life continue to persist? The viewer is left to ponder the unresolved struggles that may still lie ahead for those behind bars, even as they push forward. Pelican Bay Food Scandal: How Inmates Survive on Meals Not Meant for Humans serves as a sobering reminder of the humanity often overlooked in the American prison system, shedding light on the urgent need for comprehensive reform that addresses both conditions and accountability.